everyone, it's Coach Fred here, and today I'm going to be going over Practice Test 9 Math Calculator from the SAT. And I really think this is an interesting question. Now remember, it's the calculator part, so number 30 is the hardest question on here. So you have to keep that in mind when you're taking these tests, that the level of difficulty is going to be a little bit harder than what you're used to. So if it seems too easy, it probably is. So when looking at this question, we're given a graph with ice cream sales, the temperature in Celsius, and the sales that they make in dollars. We're given a scatter plot and a line. It says the scatter plot above shows the company's ice cream sales in dollars and the high temperature T in degrees Celsius on 12 different days. A line of best fit for the data is also shown. So we have two things happening. We have the scatter plot and we have a line of best fit. So it says, which of the following equations could be the equation of the line of the best fit? So I look at it very carefully, and I see that I vertically scan the answers, and I see that I've got all these different line equations in y equals mx plus b form, and I'm going to check on my slope. I'm going to see if I can find my slope, because one of the most important things with a line is a slope. So I'm actually just going to use the line of best fit. I'm going to pick some points on the line, and I'm going to probably estimate them. Really, like I might say this point right here is 12,500, and maybe this point right here is 22,800. Okay, so I'm going to calculate my slope. So I'm going to do my change in y over my change in x. And so 800 minus 500 all over 22 minus 12 gives me 300 over 10, which gives me a slope of about 30. So that tells me right off the bat that A and B are out, and that my slope is likely 33. Now the next question at that point would be, what is the y-intercept? So in looking at the graph, I think that most kids are going to assume that the y-intercept is 300, because if they continue this, it gets us close to 300. And since this was an estimate, I'm assuming that you're going to think that the 300 is the answer. But what you have to notice on this graph is that this graph is broken. It starts here at 10, and it starts at 300 here. So if I were to expand this graph, where would that line be? So I actually took Desmos to help me. So let me open that up, and I graphed it. So here's the graph we have. But what if I expand this now, and I move my graph so that I'm at 0, 0. So look, those points are way, way up here, and look where my line is crossing the y-axis is actually below 100, and in this case, it's at 84. It's like way, way down on the graph, which is why the answer to this question, what happened? Which is why the answer to this question would actually be D, 84. And I think that's a very tricky question, because you often don't realize what to do with lines of best fit on graphs that have been broken off, or they're only showing you part of the graph. And you have to consider this, on the actual axis with a 0, 0 and the origin. It's almost like moving. They kind of zoomed in on this graph. All right, hopefully that was a helpful video. Have a great day.